Hello YouTube, this is once again Christian coming to you. This time on the table we have a Maxpedition Entity 14 liter large crossbody bag. So this is a messenger bag or crossbody bag that I intended to use before I got my Vanquest Envoy 17. Initially when I bought it, purely due to my own fault, I imagined this bag just to be a little bit bigger. That was my biggest gripe when it arrived. I kind of imagined it to be a little bit bigger. I've looked at some reviews, but it didn't for me quite compute for whatever reason. So I still kind of use this bag on some occasions when I know that I have not as many items to carry, and it is made out of 500D nylon. It's not a Cordura, it's another brand, but it is a rather nice material. It is relatively smooth and slippery as compared to maybe a fluffed up nylon like you would see on the more military style nylons, but the color scheme, in this case it's a graphite colored bag. I like that a lot with those white sprinkles in it, because it kind of glosses over your dust particles a little bit, and due to the more dense, smoother surface of it, it is not as prone to collecting dust and keeping dust on the surface of the bag, which might not look as pretty. So this is a plus in my opinion. This is rather nice in terms of the material. As far as the outside of the bag is concerned, you have two main compartments. You have your water bottle pouch on the side, and this is big enough for a 600 milliliter bottle, or you could quite easily also put a 32 ounce 1 liter bottle in there. And as opposed to their Entity backpack series, that actually comes with a retainer strap, so it doesn't push out. If you don't have anything in that particular pouch, you can just close it down and save a little bit of space, and makes it a little bit more compact. It also has that zipper keeper to prevent that from opening accidentally, which is a nice touch. I personally like that. On the other side there's a little storage compartment, and the same goes here with that little retainer loop for your zipper runner. And this is really just a small drop pouch. Now there's no organization going on in this pouch, which I like because it's just a small size, and it is relatively restricted in terms of the opening space you have here. And so for that particular purpose, I think not much organization would be needed here anyways. I also like the opening of this particular pouch, because it is accessible while still preventing things from falling out while you have the bag on its back. And the same is true if you have it upright. It's fairly limited. You still have a little bit of retaining left there, so you don't have to be too worried about stuff falling out of that pocket if you access it. The main compartment is like most of their Entity series, equipped with the little drawbridge system, which is restricting the opening of the lid of the bag. That is a nice feature if you really just want to open the bag up to get maybe an EDC pouch out of it, or you just need to access the document compartment. You don't need it to open up all the way. Also on this side you have a little key keeper for the top compartment, which is good for pencils or smaller items, or maybe your sunglasses, and that works rather well. In here you have a loop section that allows you to attach some of their specifically made accessories. So in this particular case I just have one of the Vanquest pouches in there, which I found to be a good fit in here, giving me some additional organization, because in terms of internal organization there's not an awful lot in here, apart from these two little pouches which on each side, on this one and on this one, they're little see-through pouches, and they are probably good for your headphone case or something along these lines, but certainly a nice feature to have for those smaller items. They usually fall into the bottom of the bag, and then you have to push everything around until you eventually find something at the bottom of it. So that is appreciated and nice to have. Also, you can see on this side where you have your bottle pouch, they integrated those 4 holes, so you can actually change the height of your little retainer elastic cord here to suit whatever you need on this side, or remove it completely if you feel you don't need it. So that's rather nice. If you wanted to open the bag completely, these open up just by pushing them together. They pop open and give you full access to your bag, which in my view in this particular case is almost not needed. You get actually enough access just by keeping it like that. So when I used it, I hardly ever found myself in a situation where I opened these up and got rid of them. I just left them in there because the access is really big enough to get to everything that's inside the main compartment there. So as far as space inside is concerned, just to give you an idea, that's a first aid kit, and here's a small EDC pouch, right? And beyond that, you're starting to get a little bit limited. If your carry needs are only that much, it's a perfect bag. But if you now wanted to stuff a jersey into it, or have a little bit more in terms of documents, it gets already a little bit limited. That being said, there's another compartment at the back there, which I believe is also styled to be a concealed carry department, as you can usually tell by the fact that it's a loop section on both sides of it. So if you're living in the United States, and perhaps this is of interest to you, to attach your handgun or whatever you want to put in there. But it's also quite useful for carrying an iPad, or perhaps a small, let's say 12-inch notebook that should actually just fit in there. I've used it in the past mainly for my iPad or for documents. So, and organizers with hook and loop would also fit into this compartment. On the back side, you have first of all your top loop, which is nice and structured. So it is rather hard on the inside, but it is nicely stitched and feels rather good in hand. It's a light pack, so you don't expect too much padding there. You've got ventilated areas, and also you have a little strap sitting inside of that you can tuck away just like that. So if you feel like you need additional tightening down, let's say you have that on a bike, sling it around your back, you can use that as a hip belt to secure it so it's not bouncing around, which is a nice feature to have. And it also tucks away nicely if you don't need it, without having to completely remove any kind of buckle. It just stores inside these little cutouts here, and that's a nice way of doing it, and it is appreciated. As with the other bag of the Entity series that I just reviewed today, the one gripe I have with that is once it's loaded, it really doesn't want to stand on its own. Right now it's fine, but the very moment I pack it up or put water bottles into it, it kind of wants to fall over. And perhaps you can already see how it is on a tilt if you're trying to stand it up. And I keep repeating myself, but that is really something you actually, it's kind of a bag that you would take into an office environment. It is a bag that would be sitting on the ground most of the time. You want to access it, you want it to stand on its own. And that is also one of the reasons why I started looking, apart from its size, why I started looking for another bag, is it doesn't stand up. And you can see, if you look at it that way, that you have that kind of angle on the bottom in relation to the back, and that is exactly where the problem is. If that was actually perpendicular and had a little bit of rigidity to the sewn edges, then this would be really nice. It would be just standing like that in a loaded fashion, upright without leaning forward, and then that would make a lot more sense from my perspective. So that is a little issue I have with this bag. Otherwise, if you're really not needing more space and you're looking for something compact that is well done in terms of stitching, in terms of materials, in terms of zippers, and also available at a relatively attractive price point of around, I think, $90 US if it's on sale. And Maxpedition has a tradition of putting these on sale on a regular basis, so unless you try to buy it at a very unfortunate point in time where you actually have to buy it, if you wait it out, usually within 2, 3 or 4 weeks, you should be able to get it on a sale, and then it's $90, which for the quality of the bag and all its features, I have to say isn't half bad. It's a nice piece of kit. The one thing I forgot, run over that quickly, is the shoulder strap there, and that is also relatively nice. It has a nice running feature. This is kind of seat belt webbing, which makes it run really nice and smooth. And you have those little loops in here, which enables you to attach some of the accessories, be it a phone pouch or some of their other accessories. Have a look on their website, what's available there. But yeah, that's my take on this particular bag. A little bit small for me, but that doesn't have to mean anything for you. And if you can overlook the a little bit unfortunate circumstance of it not really wanting to stay put, then this is a great little unit that I can recommend with given limitations. Alright, thank you for popping in, and you all enjoy the rest of your day. Alright, bye bye.